Y'all, we got so much to talk about with this whole Sierra Huda drama, which I think is just, oh my gosh. I want to say this from the jump, okay? Low key, I watched probably three parts of Sierra's like self Q&A style thing. I have to say, a lot of people were kind of like being rude. They were like, oh, Homegirl decided to interview herself because nobody's interviewing her, which I think is kind of crazy because I do think that she obviously was a major part of the show. And I do think that she seemed to have been in one of the, more authentic relationships on the show with Nick. If you guys did watch, like, I was like, oh shit, I thought like they had a chance of winning it because they actually seemed like they were, really into each other, especially when they went on their little date and they went on their picnic and they were riding bikes and all that stuff. Which, by the way, if you guys watched that episode, I was sitting there like, I know this island is hot and humid as hell, and they got them riding bikes up a hill to a picnic. Like, y'all, a date like that seems so cute and so romantic, but then I was thinking to myself, because I'm so damn fat and I'm such a sweater and I have so many rolls, that I was like, can you imagine like how sweaty and musty I would have been after riding a bike? Like, I'm trying to be cute, you know what I'm saying? Like, even Nick had said in that episode too, like, damn, couldn't they have got us like an electronic bike? Like, for real, I was sitting over there like, low key, I would love to do a date like that, but then I was like, I would be sweating so much. Like, that humidity is no joke. Anyways, I watched like three parts of her self like little Q&A. I do gotta say, I kind of think it would have been better if she went on to like somebody's podcast. I don't know if everybody is looking at her like, oh damn, like we don't want to have her on our podcast because she did make a derogatory remark and people are kind of like steer clear of that. But I gotta say this, I am so damn tired of so many people acting so fucking fake on the internet, acting like they've never said anything offensive before. You know what's so crazy? I was just making a early 2000s hip hop playlist and I was listening to what's that Chingy song with Ludacris, where Ludacris is like, stop, drop, kaboom, baby, rub on your nipples. That song right there, he literally says the C word in that song. And I'm just kind of like, it's so crazy to think that we live in this age of so many people have said something so wrong, but they want to get onto the internet and act holier than thou. That's why y'all can hate me all you want. But let me tell you something. If I was ever going to go on a reality show, I'm going to just straight up say, hey, I probably said this. I probably said that. I probably, said some things that were derogatory, maybe a little racist, maybe a little homophobic, maybe a little transphobic, maybe a little bit straight phobic. You know what I'm saying? Only because I am not going to be a fake bitch. Okay. And I feel like so many damn people up on the internet with their holier than thou mentality, it's like, baby girl, we all have said some things that were messed up in the past. You know what I'm saying? So this is where I'm like, damn, like nobody really wants Sierra on their podcast, to like interview her. It's a little crazy to me. I'm just speculating here. That's obviously just my own opinion because I'm like, why hasn't anybody had her on? And there's so many questions that obviously people want answers to. And I think that would have been a perfect opportunity to have her on the podcast. Somebody, you know what I mean? But clearly nobody is having her on their podcast. And that's why she's over here like doing her own little Q&A. Letting you guys know, I specifically only wanted to talk about the Huda drama because obviously Huda is like the main it girl from, Love Island. But then also I do want to go ahead and talk about Camila calling out Huda because she wanted Huda on the podcast. And I guess Huda like dodged her and was like, hell no, I'm not going on her podcast. And I have some thoughts and opinions about that. I think that's really crazy. But first, I want to go ahead and talk about Sierra because this whole thing right here, y'all, low key, it was blowing up because a lot of people were speculating at first that she had some type of beef between Alandria and her because obviously Alandria and Nick, they decided to like test the waters and see how their relationship would work out, which low key, I like them both. You guys know Alandria was like one of my favorite girls from the island or from the show. And I have to say this though, in my personal opinion, that relationship seems fake as fuck. Let's go ahead and keep it real here, okay? That relationship seems like they were just like, let's stay together just to stay on the show. It didn't really seem like they had an authentic connection. I don't know if maybe it wasn't portrayed well on the show. I know that all of the cast members were saying so little of the show was shown, that there was so many more things behind the scenes. You know what I'm saying? Like basically they had 24 hours in a day where the cameras were rolling, but then we only got to see literally 1 hour of each day. So obviously there's 23 hours missing out. So maybe there was just stuff that we didn't see. But from what I have seen on the show, I was like, Nick and Alandria, like, it would be super freaking cute if they did end up working out as a couple and they really did end up forming an authentic relationship. However, to me, it was giving the vibes of like, oh, we're just friends, but let's go ahead and, like, stick together so that way we could, stay up on the show and make it to the end, which I can't blame them. Honestly, if I was in the same, shoes that they were in, low key, I would have done the same thing too. Like, with my friend, I would have been like, hey, like, let's just fake it till we make it till the end. You know what I mean? Obviously, this is a competition show, and if we have a shot of winning $100,000, let's go ahead and do it. But it just didn't really seem legit to me. So obviously, everybody was like, wait, how does Cierra feel about this? Because according to her, she had authentic feelings for Nick, and I felt like they both had feelings for each other, but I guess apparently Alandria and Nick have been ghosting her and haven't, like, talked to her, like, reached out to her. They haven't talked at all. She even put out a statement before stating that she is, like, team Nicklandria, which is, like, what people are calling them. She seemed to be, trying to be happy for them. Low-key, I'ma say this, I'm not trying to be a bitch. I could understand why people are, calling Cierra a little bit fake, because she really does seem like she is PR trained. She really does think that she orchestrates what she's going to say before turning on the camera. Do you know what I mean? Which obviously everybody fell in love with Huda, for example, because she was so authentic, even though she was a hot mess. You know what I mean? Even though she was super unhinged, but people obviously got to see authenticity in that, and they were like, oh, she's being her full self, as to where you look at Cierra, and it does seem a little calculated. It does seem like she is thinking a little bit too much. It does seem like she is really putting answers to these questions ahead of time. That's why I think it would have been better if she went onto a podcast. So that way, say, for example, the interviewer had the list of questions and were able to ask her them, like, right on the spot. Do you know what I'm saying? As to where her doing her own Q&A, she had time to think about these answers, and she was in control of the camera, and she could have stopped it at any time. So that's where I'm just kind of like, it sucks that it was like that. But apparently she feels some type of way towards Nick and towards Olandria, because obviously they kind of like ghosted her, and she thought that they were, like, legitimate friends. I guess that she had thought that she had a legitimate connection with Nick, and it turns out that that is not the case. There was so much, y'all. In total, I want to say, like, I was over there, like, saving all of her clips because I was thinking about doing a full video. And then I was like, you know what? I don't really care to talk about all this other stuff. I did just want to I did want to touch on the Nicklandria situation. But then also I want to talk about the Huda situation, because as you guys saw, obviously, a lot of people were saying that, like, on Call Her Daddy, they were like, wait, what? Like, she got out there and she said that she felt like she didn't really have girlfriends inside the house, which I have to say, it didn't really play out like that to me, because it seemed... There was one part of the show that I kept on seeing a clip, surface from, to where Olandria was being a little bit towards Huda after Huda did the heart rate challenge, and it seemed like Olandria was obviously way more on Shelly's side, and she was just kind of like, okay, yeah, like, let me go ahead and step away. And it seemed like in that moment, like, Huda really did need a friend. But obviously Cierra wasn't there at that time. She was already kicked off of the show. Oh wait, was she kicked off the show? Maybe she wasn't kicked off the show at that time. I don't know what went down with them, but I didn't see any clips right there. But I could see in that moment that she felt like she didn't really have a friend, because obviously everyone was like, oh damn, like, Shelly's obviously pissed because of this heart rate challenge, which I don't know, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, she got onto the Call Her Daddy podcast and she said that. And she said that she also felt like bullied within the house, which, like I said, we don't know what happened behind the scenes, but low-key, from what I saw, it didn't really seem like Huda was bullied. But Cierra did have some things to say about this. And you know what's so crazy, y'all? I do have to say, so many people were calling out Cierra in the comments, and I do have to say I did kind of agree, because she kept on saying over here, like, the reason why she stayed is because of me. Like, she made it seem like she was in full control of keeping Huda there. Like, her wording of which she had said, like, Huda was basically there because of her. It's like, girl, like, you weren't the deciding vote. Like, yeah, she did vote to keep Huda in the house, but she wasn't the main reason why Huda was there. And it low-key, she kind of, like, I don't know, she made it seem like as if she was, like, the end-all be-all, and, like, Huda needs to, like, thank her, basically, for being in the house. And it's like, girl, you were just, like, one of the people that voted to keep her there. You weren't the main reason why she was there. So I could understand how people are like, girl, why are you acting like you were in control of this? But she did have some things to say about it, so check it out.
One of the most shocking things for me coming out of the villa was seeing the perception of my relationship with Huda. I thought that we had a really great bond inside the villa. You guys didn't get to see a lot of the friendship building that happened off camera. With Huda, especially in the beginning, I was attached to her. I think you guys saw when we had the moment where I kind of reality checked her in a way. I told her like, hey, I almost sent you home last night. I am a graduated crash out. I have been through what she was going through with Jeremiah before. I saw this whole vision for her, this redemption arc. Like I really wanted her to rewrite the narrative and show America the Huda that I was seeing. Fast forward to the heart rate challenge. Everyone is like, did Huda do too much? Why were you such a mean girl? What did we not see? Huda has amazing moves, okay? And one of her signature moves is like licking the genitals, okay, of the man. She did it to Jeremiah during the dominatrix challenge when she was coupled up with him, but in the heart rate challenge she did it to Ace, and Chris had made it like halfway around the circle. He was already halfway through the girls while Huda was still focused on Ace, and the guys honestly clocked it before the girls did. Like I'm looking around and the guys are looking at each other like, what's going on? I think, you know, even Huda has come out and said that she's taken accountability and she would have moved differently had she known that it would have had the effect that it did. Shelly is my girl. I've never seen her be uncomfortable or lose her composure once, and I could feel her energy that this like really upset her. In that time I was not going to disinvalidate her, especially when everyone was looking around like, okay, that was a bit too much. Even the guys were admitting like, okay, that was a bit too much. Huda herself was admitting that was too much. I know that since the season has ended, Huda has come out and said that she was bullied and she didn't have any friends in the villa. I don't take bullying lightly. I think that's awful. I don't think anyone should be treated disrespectfully no matter what they've done. Like even in her peak of crash outs, I was making sure that everyone was treating her with respect and really fighting for her. With her saying that I'm the fakest, I think that when you come out of the villa and you absorb all of this information at a rapid pace and you see all of the edits, like it kind of with you. You're like, what's real and what's not? And did this person say that? And this and that. I think the only thing that keeps me grounded in the situation is remembering my reality, my experience. And I always remember positive feelings. And anytime I had negative feelings, I expressed them to her. And even in then, like I was showcasing them to her from a point of love and from a point of like wanting things to be better. So I am proud of her. I'm really happy for her that she's had this redemption arc that I wanted for her from the beginning.
Can I be really real with you guys, okay? I even had to like stop to watch that back right there, okay? And just go over the like little questions that she had put up on the screen. By the way, go over to her TikTok if you want to watch the full thing, because that clip that you guys just saw a little piece of is actually 9 minutes long. So it's just way too long for me to play the whole damn thing. That's why I said I'm like, in total, I want to say her whole little Q&A thing that she put up on TikTok was like, 35 minutes. I was like, damn girl, you're doing a lot over here. Like just do a YouTube video. You know what I'm saying? Going back over that, I do have to say, I think that she low-key is really trying very hard to get some redemption over here. And because I feel like because Huda's fan base is like so strong right now, and yo, I gotta keep it real. Y'all know that I'm like indifferent towards Huda. I feel like she's... Wait until we talk about the Camilla thing, okay? Because low-key, I'm like, okay, this is why I really like Camilla, because I feel like she calls people out, and I like that. I feel like, obviously, she's, like, super unhinged or whatever, and I feel like her fans are also unhinged. Like, the comments that I'm seeing of people having her back, I'm just like, whoa. Like, oh my gosh. I think what it is, and I think I said this in another video, I think because, obviously, Huda was so comfortable being authentic and letting her unhingedness show on TV that her fans are comfortable being unhinged too, so they're going a little bit crazy. In my personal opinion, I think that Cierra is, like, low-key kind of scared, so she's over here trying to get in everyone's good graces and make it seem like I had this vision for Huda, and I thought that she could do so much more and be so much more, and that's why I wanted her to stay in the house and things like that. And I'm like, girl, you are acting like way too fake right now. I am so damn sorry, but I am starting to see why people were calling Cierra fake. On the show, I really did like her. I thought that she was like cute. She was just kind of like whatever, you know what I mean? She seemed like a nice girl, but now I am starting to see, especially from this Q&A, why people are calling her fake, because I'm like, girl, just go ahead and keep it real. Like, if you didn't like Huda, if you felt like she was unhinged, like, just go ahead and say it, because I'll be the first person to say it watching that damn show. And like I said before, the clips that I have saw of Huda, I was like, she is fucking unhinged. Like, this girl is wild. Like, whoa. Like, girl, you're gonna need to learn how to handle your emotions. Like, whoa, simmer down now and get yourself in check here. So I feel like if Cierra felt that way, she should just say it. Do you know what I mean? I feel like it's better to be real than to be fake just because you're scared of Huda's fans. Because yes, Huda's fans are... woo! They seem to be riding or dying, which is great for Huda, but also at the same time too, let's go ahead and keep it real and call it out. If she's acting up, she's acting up. You know what I'm saying? And it really does seem like so many people were justifying her for like going off on Jeremiah. And I've said it before. I'm like, hey, maybe Jeremiah wasn't like the best guy. And maybe he was a little bit manipulative. Maybe he was love bombing. Maybe he was a little bit shady. You know what I mean? Maybe he was playing the game a little too much. But don't act out like that. Do you know what I'm saying? Calling him all these names and things like that. It's so crazy to see that so many people are low-key scared to like say that now because Huda's fans are so cray. You know what I mean? Which I get it, but at the end of the day, I could take the hate. It's fine. Anyways, y'all, I want to go ahead and talk about Camila. Y'all know that I really do like her, which, by the way, she did announce that the Bop House has come to an end. I don't know if you guys had seen that, but the Bop House is no more. Anyway, she has a podcast, and I have seen a couple episodes of her podcast before. I've seen the one with Santos and Ash Trevino, and I do have to say, from what I have seen of her, she really does seem like a straight shooter. I do have to say this, if I'm keeping it real, and I think it's because she's young. Watching her on the podcast, I do think that sometimes she may talk over people a little bit too much. I wish that she would ask the questions and just like let the people answer. But then I'm like, okay, girl, like stop talking a little bit. But I do have to say this. I like that she does ask the hard-hitting questions. She had brought up a point, and I felt the same way too. I felt like in the Huda Call Her Daddy podcast, I felt like oh my gosh, I literally just drew a blank on the Call Her Daddy host. Is it Alex? I think it's Alex. I feel like she wasn't asking the like right questions, and I feel like she wasn't really calling Huda out. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like she was tiptoeing around it, and I feel like she was, more like, look, I feel like so many people have obviously saw that Huda is the fan favorite, so they're low-key trying to be in her good graces. You know what I'm saying? But I really do think that if you are going to be a podcaster / interviewer, I think that you do have to ask the hard-hitting questions. And I do think that you have to, say, hey, like, did you think that it was appropriate for you to, pop off like this and do X, Y, and Z? And Camila was calling that out because she did make a TikTok before, and she did say, like, Huda, if you're seeing this, come on the podcast. And I really do think that she would have asked her the hard-hitting questions, but it seems like Huda is dodging that. But obviously, let's go ahead and say this though too. Huda right now is on a high. She is out there in freaking London meeting up with Huda Beauty. She's meeting up with the owners of Gymshark. She's doing a meet and greet in LA, actually coming up soon, with a brand called Opali. Like, she is really on the rise right now, doing all these brand deals. So I do have to say this before playing this clip of Camila. Maybe Camila is jumping the gun a little bit too much here because obviously Huda is extremely busy right now. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, maybe she just doesn't have time to do the interview right now. Maybe she will in the future. If she does actually do the podcast with her, I would be so excited for that because I really do believe that Camila would ask Huda the tough hitting questions that we all want the answers to. Because as y'all know, I've said it before, I really do feel like from what I have seen of Huda, and this is where I'm saying I see a touch of narcissism, is because I feel like the way that she acted, it's like she's justifying it. She has reasons for it. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, baby girl, just go ahead and say, hey, like I shouldn't have done that, point blank period. That's it. Do you know what I mean? Rather than justifying every reason for it. And from what I have seen, it seems like she's justifying it, which means that she condones that type of behavior. So I would love to see Camila ask her some, tough questions. But I do want to go and play this clip for you guys to where Camila is talking about it. But once again, I do have to say, I really do like Camila, but I do feel like she may be jumping the gun just a little bit. Check this out.
Huda swerves my podcast.
I have no clue who that is, but
She was on Love Island, and
I can't do reality.
I just want to say, she went on the Call Her Daddy podcast. Love Call Her Daddy. 10 out of 10. Absolutely love Alex Cooper. Huda went on her podcast, and everyone was like really upset by it because they're saying that she didn't call Huda out for some of her behavior that like wasn't acceptable that everyone was talking about in the beginning of the show. And they were all tagging me in it, being like she should have went on Camila's podcast, but she wouldn't go because she knows I would have clocked it. So Huda, I'll be nice.
Did you watch Love Island?
No, but I watched it through like my TikTok For You page. I know enough.
Oh.
So we're gonna have to talk serious. You don't just get to act like a
We're
fool.
real.
You gotta, you know what I'm saying? Like we have to be for real.
Huda beauty thing. I saw your Instagram.
Bro, I thought it was Huda Beauty for the longest.
Your TikTok.
So funny. Let's talk about the real and raw and why you felt how you did. And let's get deeper, okay? Let's get deeper than how you got on Call Her Daddy, because I feel like everyone's curious.
There, y'all saw from right there, she was even saying like, on the Call Her Daddy podcast, she didn't really ask those type of, questions. And as to where she is saying that she will call her out, I really do believe that she would. So I would be so interested to see Huda on there. Do you know what I mean? Also, I gotta say this, I am so curious to see, because y'all know I actually really do like Huda Beauty. I think that she makes some great products. I am so curious to see like what their collab is going to be like, because I just saw there was rumors out there that she was doing a collaboration with Huda Beauty, and then they finally uploaded a TikTok together, and I'm just kind of like, oh my gosh, I'm so intrigued to see how their collab will be. Also, I'm curious to see if it'll be a collaboration that's going to take long, or if it's something that they are going to released with just like limited edition packaging. Say for example, if they come out with some powders, but then it has some type of Huda from Love Island style packaging to it. Do you know what I mean? Because y'all know when it comes down to makeup collaborations, it'd be taking like a year and a half for things to come out. And I wonder if the Huda Love Island hype will die down. Also, I gotta say this too, because maybe just because I got so damn hooked to the show, y'all know I am indifferent towards Huda, okay? I really do feel like, yes, she is young, and I really do feel like there's so much room for growth within her. But I really would love to see a reality show with her in it, and I would love to see some other cast members from the Love Island, you know, franchise, or maybe just specifically that season. Do you know what I mean? Because I feel like that'd be a really good show. I know people have mentioned before about, what's it called? Like Life After the Villa or something? Wait, I forgot what it's called, but I guess they have like a spinoff of it, but I don't know. I would like to see something else, kind of like the Hills style. Do you know what I mean? I feel like that would be really good. And low key, I do have to say this, okay? Because y'all know, I feel like the messier the person, the better the show. Do you know what I mean? Like if you guys watch 90 Day Fiancé, so many people hated the girl Jasmine. If you guys know Jasmine and Gino, holy shit, Jasmine makes the show because she is so damn crazy and she's just so unhinged, but she's entertaining. And I really do feel like Huda could be very unhinged, but low key, it makes for the entertainment. Do you know what I mean? So I really do feel like Huda could be good for some reality TV, and hopefully they do have some type of spin-offs, because low key, I would be super interested in watching that. Anyways, make sure you guys let me know your thoughts and opinions about everything. I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out, Girl Scout.